motherfuckers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, Bill O'Reilly is home. He's in Ireland, and he's calling in from Ireland. And want to bring him in, Rita?
Absolutely. Bill O'Reilly, the great nonfiction, big best-selling author, of course, host.
The biggest.
The biggest ever. And Bill, there you are in Ireland calling us live. I love this on Memorial Day. Fill us in on your incredible journey.
Well, first of all, Bing Crosby is dead. I want everybody to know that he's still deceased.
But like
80
Frank
degrees
Sinatra,
here
we'll never forget his songs.
Yeah, he'll live on.
80 degrees here
Wow.
today. Record, it's usually 58. I'm in Killarney, which is in the southwestern part of the country, Dingle Peninsula. And now all the Irish are complaining about the heat. Usually they're getting rained on every second, right. And now the sun's out, and everybody. We actually went to the beach, down on the beach.
Wow.
So anyway, it needed a few days off, and I have to go to London to do the big civil war there going on.
Well, we hope you're able to talk to us from London. Last week we had, who did we have on from London talking about...
Oh, yeah, Niall Gardner.
That when King Charles went back, after his meeting with Trump, and he went back to London, all of a sudden the British realized they'd been invaded. It took them this long to realize they'd been invaded? I've been saying it for 2 years.
And also, Bill, he was saying that King Charles really bridged the gap between the guy who I call Neville Chamberlain, Keir Starmer, the prime minister there.
Well, anyway, they Irish don't like the British. You guys know that.
Yeah.
And they don't care what goes on there. Here, gasoline is $9 a gallon.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Wow. Are they calling it California?
Yeah. Steak runs about $55. So you're getting the same kind of inflation that we're getting over there in America. But there's not a lot of political stuff going on. I thought I'd see more. This is a big tourist area. I don't want to alienate anybody. You further north you go, then you get into that intense migration stuff and whether Trump's this or that. But down here, they taking advantage of the weather. We're having a good time, and that's where we are. Now, I try to give you guys some information about this Iran thing. I can't nail this thing down. I don't know what the president's going to do about it. He's got a deal that he says, but he said it before. In principle, what does that mean? Nobody knows. But I assume there'll have to be some clarification this week about what he's going to do with Iran. It's really become a problem for him and the Republican Party, and he's got to get this thing done because Americans obviously are paying at the gas pump and higher food prices.
And the number one item is what's going to happen in November, and I think the American people, regardless of Iran, regardless what the Israelis think, the American people think it should be over and move on. Yeah,
well, polls show that. There's no doubt about it. They didn't figure it out in the first place. It wasn't that well presented to them. We tried. I mean, I know what's going on over there, but these Iranians, they're causing economic havoc all over the world. So President Trump's going to have to do something decisive. I'd say, about a week. I think he's got about a week to do something.
Bill, I want to ask you, I was watching, it was at the Wall Street Journal, some of the op-ed stuff that was coming out just a little bit ago and looking at it. And one of the things they're really concerned, and you see even some of the Ted Cruz's and other people like that coming out and saying that there shouldn't be any sort of sanction relief, unfreezing of assets. It's unclear if that's being discussed or not, obviously the Iranians certainly want that. But the big question is, how does Trump sort of straddle that if that were to come? Because already you can hear as I mentioned, the Ted Cruz and some of these other conservatives saying, do not unfreeze any money. Don't give them any money at any point.
No, he'll get killed if he does it.
Yep, I agree,
Because then
Bill.
they'll bring in Obama, giving the Iranians money not to do it, and they still did it. And the president's got to know that if he tries to buy them off without weapons inspectors and all that, he's going to get just hammered from both sides. And because the Wall Street Journal wants a regime change. I don't know how that's possible at this point, but that's what they want. And they have made that quite clear. And that's really the newspaper of record now. The New York Times is no longer the newspaper of record in the United States. The Wall Street Journal is, because of the investor class. And they're warning, the journal is warning you if you're, if it's perceived that the Iranians beat you, because that's what the propaganda is going to be, there's going to be a full-blown disaster in November.
The other issue, too, Bill, is you'll see over the weekend, and this has been the drumbeat from the Democratic side to begin with, is you also have to do something, too, on the other hand, that shows definite progress.
Well, Rita, you might have missed this, but the Democratic Party did throw down today. Alexander Ocasio-Cortez may run for president.
Oh, I saw that.
I think
yeah.
Every mullah, every terrorist in the world go, oh, no. Oh, my God, you can't have that.
The Democratic Party has to lose 49 states for them to realize they're on the wrong track.
Well, whatever it may be, my information is that in Tehran, when they heard that, they all took naps.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they knew all they have to do is wait. I mean, that's a scary premise. But what is scary, Bill, too, is leading up to that, there are a lot of people that believe like AOC, and they're coming out and saying, for what was this done? That's the other issue that he has to worry about at the end of the day, that there has to be at least some tangible change, that it doesn't just stop because you're already hearing the drum beats of, okay, well, why did we spend X amount of money? Why did we go through this?
Sure, you got to get weapons inspectors in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to understand what the victory looks like. And Hormuz will take care of itself after that. But if, the Iranians are doing every sleight of hand in the world not to get anybody in there to verify what they're doing. And, Trump's got to make that happen. Now, so far he said he does have that down, but I don't know. I think everybody's got to be a little skeptical here. But certainly he knows what's at stake, and it's his legacy, which is at stake right now.
Yeah, James Flippin is with us.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, James Flippin here. Happy to get a question here. I just wanted to point out the fact that a lot of people online seem to think the strengthening of the Abraham Accords is a big result of this. In other words, that there's going to be an Arab coalition that wants to put pushback on Iran in that region in a way that maybe hasn't happened over the last 50 years or so. Do you think that's a realistic expectation?
I don't want to break this to you, but the mullahs are more afraid of Ocasio-Cortez than they are the other Arab nations. Come on. I mean, these guys they know what the game is over there, and they're not willing to risk much. They don't have much to risk. What are they going to send out? A couple of sailboats? It's got to be America. And we have to do it again. Throughout our own history, it's always thrown into our lap. We have to beat the Japanese. We have to beat Hitler. We have to do this. We have to, try to collapse the Soviet Union, which we did. Now we have to try to beat a terrorist state. And it always seems to come back to us and our blood and treasure. And on Memorial Day, people should think about that. No matter what your politics are, is that we always have to right the wrong. Spain ain't going to do it. I hate to break. I'm sorry, Spain. They're not doing it.
Yeah, especially now.
Midnight. They don't have dinner till 10. They're all hungry all the time over there. They can't do anything. We have to do it again.
Yeah, but that's a whole different discussion. There's a different discussion between the European community and allowing everybody to go their way and invade their countries, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I put my foot down for Greece. And Greece, I think Greece followed my lead because they didn't want I said, do not allow our country to be invaded, and
Right.
you'll be held accountable.
Bravo.
And
by the way, Poland has been one of the few European
Poland,
countries
too.
holding the line.
All right.
They've
so
been great.
there's two discussions here: the European community doing stupidity things, and that was the real reason for Brexit, and some of the Brits refused to say that. And the other thing is the NATO. I mean, at what point do we fund NATO? And we have a big problem with NATO. And I don't know. Marco Rubio had a meeting with them over the weekend. Let's see what develops. But a European community problem, NATO problem is two separate problems.
Yeah, what do you think, Bill?
Well, I know you're very involved with Greece, John, but the person I fear the most is Kimberly Guilfoyle. All right, so Kimberly Guilfoyle leaves the U.S. Embassy in those 8-inch high heels. Nobody's coming into the country. They're going, no, we're not doing it. So she's controlling a lot of that. But you're right. The Europeans have been like, what is it now, 60, 70 years? We've been protecting them.
No, we've been protecting their ass for 100 years, since World War I. We saved their ass in World War I. We saved their ass in World War II.
We bailed them in World War I. But in World War II, we rebuilt the whole place.
Well, that's what I think. That's what President Trump is afraid of. That if he knocks out the island, we're going to have to pay to rebuild it ourselves.
Well, it's probably true.
Right.
Yes.
But anyway, it's. I'll get a good look in London next week. I lived there for years. Some of you guys know.
I lived there too for 2 years when I ran Capital Airlines back in the 80s.
Yeah, but it's not what it used to be. But Ireland is. And you guys want a nice vacation, this is the place to go, that's for sure.
Well, send pictures, Bill. Thank you very much. And really great to have you there, and enjoy your time there. And can't wait to hear about your trip to London afterwards, too. That'll be great, Bill.
And if you're in the mood, call us from London, too.
Yeah, call us from London later this week. That'd be great, Bill.
Okay, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.